presidential?
I mean, I just was in Philadelphia the day after the convention campaigning for a candidate for the House. I've got some time scheduled with Senator Portman. We'll be very involved in Get Out the Vote. I will be going to, I've already been to Kentucky for Rand Paul. I think I go to Chicago next week. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing there. I think it's a possibility I'll be back in New York. So I'm going to do everything I can to help House and Senate candidates so we can keep those houses of Congress and participate in getting out the vote activities.
What about the top of the ticket?
Well, I think I made myself clear at this point about that.
What would make yourself clear?
Well, I made myself clear. There's no more to talk about there.
On 2020, is that what you're referring to?
2020? Is that a television show? I don't know what you mean.
Are you running in 2020?
Oh, that's so. I have no clue what I'm going to be doing 20 minutes from now, let alone 2020. I don't have a clue. My interest right now is making sure we keep the House and the Senate, down ticket races, races in Ohio, even at the local level, and having a voice of positivity. I just spent a day and a half in New York. I'm in the process of writing a book talking about what I think needs to be done to make sure that our country can get back on track.
How important do you feel Ohio is in the presidential election campaign?
Well, everything's important.
Do you think it should go to a Republican candidate? A presidential candidate?
Again, I've said everything I have to say about all that. So,
Talk about your priorities here in the Buckeye State. You've been gone. I know that you've tried to stay in touch.
No, I wasn't really gone. I've been. I came back a lot during the campaign. I have phones, and the state's doing really. I mean, look, it's reflected in Cleveland. Now people say, do I go to Maui or do I go to Cleveland? It showed so well, but it's a reflection of the whole state. Economic growth, optimism, people feeling that they're not being left behind. It's not division, it's unity in our state. And we have to stay at it because that can all change. The most important thing is economic jobs, and in the last couple of years, we're going to be really pushing to redo the state of Ohio as best we can. We have to work with the legislature on that, but I want to have a 21st century Ohio, heading into the middle of the 21st century, and in every way possible. Involvement at the community level by people, the use of technology to transform a lot of our operations, and just continue to run through the tape.
So for the critics who said you were gone too long?
Well, I don't know who I mean, gone, I don't know, it's critics all the time. I don't worry too much about them. If I worried about critics, I wouldn't get anything done, so.
Talk about police officers, and what would you have to say to our police officers who are out on the streets right now?
Well, we love them. Cleveland was a perfect example of where law enforcement made such a huge difference. But there were three things that happened in Cleveland and things we see happening around the state. One is that we had an unprecedented level of commitment of law enforcement in Cleveland. Secondly, the community leaders were people who said, we're moving forward, we don't want to go backwards, and violence represents that. And thirdly, I think the idea that we're unified as a state, more than we've been in a long, long time, I think that's also contributed to the positive things we're seeing. We created this community and police collaborative. I think it was vital we did it. We now have a statewide policy on the use of deadly force, recruiting and hiring practices, data collection. We will have a full collaboration coming soon, and we have to keep working on this. You see, you can't leave anybody behind, because if you leave people and look, not everything, we don't have any mission accomplished signs, we're far from it. But if people can get the sense that they're going to be treated fairly, that's what really matters in our state, our communities, and in our country.
Any takeaways